evening, everyone. Welcome to Bread and Butter. We are so excited to be back for 2021. Hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season and is over the craziness of 2020 and ready for all that 2021 has to offer. And so we have a few changes today, or a few changes this year. We have Michaela, who is replacing our good sis Mahogany. Mahogany has rolled off of her role at the Play Cousins Collective and has moved on to better things. But we want to send her good vibes and let her know we love her. And also welcome in our sis Michaela McLean, who is going to be the liaison for Play Cousins in our partnership with Russell Place of Promise. So, Michaela, do you want to say anything before we move on?
I'm really excited to be stepping into this role. And I want to thank you and Mahogany, who's not here right now, but for being gracious and helping me to, fill her shoes if possible,
Awesome. Yes. Thank you so much for being here. And y'all, already, she has been rocking out the position. So I'm so excited for the new partnerships and just moving forward with the work that Mahogany and I began. And so tonight we have a really, really good show planned for you all. We have Summer Works on with us to talk about the wonderful things that they have going on. So we have the beautiful Miss Ladea Owens, and we also have Danaea Marshall. Okay, look, I was about to say Mitchell. I'm like, where did I get Mitchell from? Anyway, but we have the beautiful Danaea Marshall as well on with us, who was actually one of our summer workers over the summer for RPOP. And so we'll jump right into it. And welcome, ladies, to our show. Do you all want to say anything before we get started?
Well, thank you for having me. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Ladea. Go ahead.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm excited to be here. I think my little appearance on the show is a long time coming. So thank you for having me.
It is. How about you, Ladea?
And same here. Thank you for having me. Like, we are excited to talk about Summer Works. I'm excited to talk about intergenerational wealth. I'm excited to talk about Develop the West, whatever we need to do to get the job done, to educate our youth on how to build wealth. I'm all for it. And I love to see Danaea because she was part of the Summer Works program. So I just get excited. So let's do this.
Yes. As always, we are dripping Black Girl Magic all up in here. Okay. So let's get into it. So first of all, I know everybody, or if they're not familiar, they may be wondering, what is Summer Works? So can you just give us a little overview of the program?
Absolutely. So the Summer Works program is a 7-week program dedicated during the summer. It's comprised of sponsored positions as well as private employer positions, and it is for ages 16 through 21, and you will have to register with Summer Works. But what we do is that we help you find employment. We help you find either internships, summer employment. Sometimes if you are 18 and over, we can get you full-time employment, whether it's at GE, Amazon, or some of our bigger corporations surrounding Louisville. But there is a vast number of employers that are seeking talented youth within our area. So we're more of that connector. We connect you with those employers, and we teach you whatever you need. Do you need a resume created? We can teach you how to build that. If you need interview tips, we can do mock interviewing. If you need to learn how to write a cover letter, if you need references, we can teach you how to create that, or to ask respectfully for someone to be a reference. Because many people, I used to be an HR manager for a Fortune 50 company, and it's embarrassing when you call a reference and they, on behalf of a prospective employee, and they say, "Hey, I barely know that person," or "They use me as a reference," or "Why would they use me as a reference?" So I like to tell the youth, hey, make sure you ask respectfully for a person to be a reference, and let them know that this person may be calling, just so you can give them a heads up so they won't be caught off guard, because that is embarrassing, not only for them, but for the person applying for the job. But yeah, we're here to help whatever you need. We're here to offer those career readiness services. and to connect you with with an employer. But also, I do want to point this out with our sponsored positions. Most of our sponsored sites are community partners, meaning Russell's Place of Promise, meaning Food Literacy, Bernheim, the LCCC. You know, they are our community partners where we assist them in a project-based learning experience, and the youth are able just to learn skills. Many times youth that are placed with sponsored employers, this is their first time working. So we want to just mold them, shape them, help them to answer any questions that they may have, and for them not to be afraid while they're on the job, but just to know that this is just the beginning of something wonderful, and we're here to teach you and mold you for your future.
Hey, that is awesome. I absolutely love just the program, and it reminds me of RPOP with the being a connector of resources, and especially for our youth. Like, I love the fact that you guys, like, you have them making a livable wage, or at least a decent wage as their first job. That's a blessing. And y'all know I'm an advocate for Black youth, so I'm just happy that Black youth get a chance to take advantage of that.
Yes.
You know, I've experienced stuff like back when I was in high school, like those opportunities weren't always open to children of color. Like I saw like my peers being able to get good jobs and stuff, and then like most of the Black students were having to get like jobs at McDonald's or something like that. So I love the Summer Works concept and the program and how you guys advocate for the youth. And so then my next question would be, how does Summer Works implement generational wealth building for our youth in the community?
You know, as mentioned, for many of the youth that are, especially that have been placed with sponsored sites, this is their first job. So we want to teach them, what does it mean to get a paycheck, right? What does it mean to open up a bank account? What does it mean to balance a checkbook? What does it mean to, if you're overdraft, you have to pay the overdraft fee? So we do teach them financial literacy and helping them to save money, to build credit. So all in all, to build intergenerational wealth, or to build wealth in general, you first need to know what it means to have money, right? What it means. Just because you have $200 don't mean you need to spend $200 today. You know, teach them how to save. Many times the youth that are in our program, they're helping their families, right? So, you know, many times they say, hey, you know, I really want to do this, but I have to help my mother or my father do this, or I need to buy something for a sibling, or I need food. You know, we're here to teach them how to save, how to build credit, and how to use what they have, as well as save a little bit at a time if they can. And so in building wealth, we just walk them through the process of what it means, what it means to have a dollar. All right. And this is something that even older people have trouble with. You know, I know there's been many times I want to spend money that I should not have spent, and sometimes I did spend that money. However, you know, I later found out that, you know, that wasn't very smart to spend that money financially. And so then I had to cut back some other places. And, you know, it's just teaching them that, right? It's teaching them that, you know, this is what a dollar looks like, and this is how you can save money a little bit at a time. So from what we've seen, a lot of our youth just have an entrepreneurial mindset. And so we do connect them with people that want to nurture that. You know, I know right now we have a community partner that they absolutely love, you know, building that entrepreneurial mindset and teach them how to reinvest their money and then sell the products that they create from reinvesting that money in what it, you know, supplies or whatnot, or turning that skill set. Let's say if you like to build, you know, tables or benches, garden benches, you know, turning that into an actual side job where you make money, and then you can begin to save money from that, you know, put a little bit of money away, learn how to reinvest your money in other places to build your business. And as mentioned, it's a little bit at a time, but we teach them, hey, this is what $1 looks like, and this is what you can do with your skills that you have and that you're building through the program. This is how you can reinvest that money that you gain to do what you like to do, you know? And as mentioned, it takes time. It's not something that's going to happen next week, you know? They first have to understand, what does it mean to have $1? And then from there, they can learn the skill set of saving and finding out, hey, I have this idea. How do I make this idea a reality? You know, and then we link them up with community partners that can help them in that. And over time, they build wealth. Over time, they save $200. Over time, they from the products that they sell, they save $400. And from there, you know, they have $1,000 in the bank that they're proud of, you know, and that they say, okay, you know, I can keep doing this. And then they decide to go off to college, you know, and to, you know, just build up on their knowledge. And then before you know it, they have wealth saved up that they can pass on to family members, to their own children, and teach them what it means to have $1 and to invest that dollar in something to generate more wealth.
Okay, awesome.
So I know that was a long, drawn out version, but you know, there's a way to do it, and no way is perfect, but it's just implementing these best practices of building wealth. Because as you said, Christian, I'm very passionate about our Black community, and I want us, like, I'm very supportive of Change Today, Change Tomorrow, and Feed the West, and Ag in the City, and Developing the West with Cynthia Lee. And, you know, I want us to learn and to grow, and it takes the next generation to go further than we have. So I'm all about helping them to build that wealth and to see the skills that they have and see how they can turn their skills into money.
Yes. Okay. So this is kind of like giving me home economic vibes a little bit. Like, a lot of people have been talking about how we need that back into our schools. So to me, this kind of implements that just a little bit, except like the kids are getting paid for these life skills, you know? Mm-hmm. So before I'd say my last question that we prepared for, I had one just pop in my mind. What does the 7-week program look like for a Summer Works participant? So, like, does it start off with, so they get a couple classes and then they get placed? Like, how does it work?
Absolutely. So typically what we do now, and this is currently we are kind of revamping the way that we do things. So our best practices are changing, but usually the youth will register for Summer Works. And then from there, they will be offered career readiness curriculum that teaches them, as mentioned, resume building, cover letter, references, even teach you how to do a elevator pitch. If you were to be out in public and you run into a CEO of a company or just someone that you want to connect with, we teach you that as well. We also teach you workplace conflict, how to handle sexual harassment, how to handle microaggressions, you know, things of that nature. And so after they go through that curriculum, we will then match them with an employer based upon their entrance. So when they fill out that registration form, we ask them just to be honest. Like, if you enjoy with your hands and construction may be something that you're interested in, tell us that, because we do not want to place you in a job that you don't like, you know? Yeah. So we want you to have a meaningful experience with us. So I know many times we have youth that are in, are you familiar with the Academies of Louisville?
I've heard, yes.
And how they have different pathways. So you can have a business pathway or a healthcare pathway. And many times youth will say, hey, well, I'm in the healthcare pathway at my high school, but they don't want to do healthcare. That is okay. Don't put that down. Don't put that down. You know, put what you want to do. If you want to do something in human resources, put that down so that we can know. And then we can better match you depending on private or sponsored site, okay? Private employers, they do handle their own interviewing, but we screen them out through the resume, all right? So basically, if your resume is good and we know that you can do this job, we will hand your resume to that employer. But for sponsored sites, those are mostly for those first time, second time job people that have had jobs and they just need a little bit more experience working in the workplace. Then we will place them there so they can gain skills that way. But it is a 7-week program. You work up to 30 hours per week and you do get paid $10 an hour. This everyone starts at the same time and ends at the same time for sponsored positions. Last year it was not like that due to COVID, but this year we are going to start at one start date and end at one start date. Now for private positions, they do determine their own start and end dates. Okay.
Okay, cool. That is awesome. I didn't know, how the whole process worked. So I was interested in, I know that maybe some of our viewers might be interested in getting their children into the program this summer. So thank you for taking the time to explain the process.
Absolutely.
And so then my last question is, what support does Summer Works need from the community? Because I'm the type that we the village. It takes us, the whole village to keep us all going. So what support would you need from the community or like other community-based organizations, or just let us know how we can assist?
Yeah, I say just get the word out. These are unprecedented times, right? COVID just messed up our whole schedules. All right, we're not face to face anymore, so it's harder to get connected with people. So please, whenever our registration link goes live, which we are expecting it to February the 1st, and I will send all that information out to all of our community partners, and Russell's Place of Promise is at the top of the list. Once that goes live, all of our advocacy, all of our community partners will know, okay, as well as the schools. So we ask that you just blast that through your social media accounts. Let your friends, your families, your coworkers know that SummerWorks is here. I do want to put this plug out there. We have an incredible technology. I would even say cohort through SummerWorks that is 7 weeks long, and it's called Tech Boss. And it is a sponsored site where you get paid $10 an hour, but it teaches you so much about technology that it's a skill set that will yield great dividends years to come. So we are being very intentional in the way that we are positioning ourselves and our youth to have these positions, because we want them to build wealth for themselves so that they can continue it on throughout their lineage. So we're very intentional on that.
Okay. Well, I can't wait for it to go live, and I know that you guys are going to keep us in the loop when it does. Absolutely. And we'll make sure to share you guys on our social media and get the word out. And hopefully, if you all are watching this video, please share this video on your timeline and with your friends. Invite them to watch it so they can learn more about SummerWorks. And then when it comes time, make sure that you share this with a youth who would fit perfectly into this program, okay? All right, thank you so much, Ms. LaDavis. And now I'm going to pass it over to Michaela so she can do the round of questioning with Danae.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Ladea, for telling us all that. I wasn't familiar with SummerWorks prior to this month, so that is a really cool program. I wish I would have had something like that when I was a teenager. But yeah, so Danae, you worked with SummerWorks previously. How did you participate, and can you just briefly or explain your experience with them?
So I'm a senior at U of L, and I'm a member of the Muhammad Ali Scholar Program. And the assistant director, Ashley Hazley, she actually, sent me the opportunity and got me connected with Cassandra and everything. Because, with COVID last year, it was very, unprecedented how things went. So, at that point, I think ARPA was just kind of reaching out, just trying to get their positions filled. So, my assistant director, she was able to connect me, and that's basically how I got into it. And, once I was there, I was introduced to everybody. It was like the warmest welcoming I've ever had from a job. And I was introduced to my SummerWorks colleague, Madison Jones. And most of our work, it surrounded just assisting the outreach team in any way that we could. So we did a lot of, neighborhood canvassing, door knocking. I remember the first thing that we probably did when we got there was Miss Jackie. She took us out into the neighborhood, and she's pointing stuff out, just giving us a whole history lesson, because RPOP is big, on knowing the community that you're serving and knowing the people. So most of our work revolved around that, but we also were able to assist organizations like Ag in the City when they were in the building. And we even got to spearhead our own project. It was called the Current Voices of Russell Project. And essentially with that, our idea was to elevate and amplify the voices of Russell youth, in any way that we could. So we ran an interview process, and we like did like a social media campaign where we like displayed all those interviews on social media, and we just wanted to know their perspective on Black wealth building.
Oh, okay.
We did a lot.
So what do you like most about like working with RPOP throughout all that?
I would say it's two things actually. You know, being out in the community, I was able to learn so much about Russell that I didn't know previously. And you know, I grew up in Shawnee, which is next door to Russell. So I thought I knew Russell, but you know, with the help of Miss Jackie and the outreach team and Cassandra, we were able to just learn so much and just filled with so much historical information of the community, and just you know, be out there with the people and just have, you know, socially distanced conversations. It was really great. But also just on the back end of that, being able to experience the planning part that goes into like community organizing and event planning, that was very eye-opening to me, because I've touched on that a little bit with, you know, the Muhammad Ali Scholar Program, but never to the extent that I was able to do it with RPOP. So I really like that.
Okay. Excuse me. And my last question, how would you like to engage Louisville's Black youth?
I would say, you know, as a Louisville Black youth, I would like to engage and be engaged in a way that is respectful, both respectful and elevating of the leadership, the skills, you know, the voices that come from Black youth. I feel like, you know, this was me and Madison, this was our goal with the Current Voices of Russell project. A lot of times when people refer to youth, specifically Black youth, it's like, you know, those are the voices of the future. You know, we need to train them for the future. But, you know, my thing is, when I, you know, just see that the conditions that are going on in today's world, these are the voices of now. You know, the youth are leaders. The youth are able to, you know, to spearhead projects and to assist in ways just like anybody else in society. So I would say just respect is a big thing for me, respect and engagement.
Okay. Specifically, this is a question I thought of when you were saying that. Specifically, what do you think, where do you think people are falling short in that department with engaging Black youth?
Let me think. I would say not giving Black youth the opportunity to have that seat at the table, to have that opportunity to make decisions, you know, decisions that are going to directly affect them. You know, make you know, have their voices heard when it comes to policy changes and different things that affect the community that they live in. I think that's what I was kind of hinting at when it came to like, you know, me being able to, you know, sit at that table with Cassandra and the outreach team when it came to community planning and community organizing. I just felt like, you know, in those meetings, in those sessions, my voice was heard just as much as everybody else. And, you know, it was, you know, to represent a community, Black youth, who are going to be affected just like everybody else. So just that seat at the table, I feel like that is crucial to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you, Nanea. I will pass it back to Christian.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kayla, and thank you, Nanea. That is awesome. And if you're watching this is actually a pre-recording, right? So we recorded this on Inauguration Day. So that's why we see Ladea and her beautiful pearls, for Chucks and Pearls, for our good sis Kamala. But one of my favorite parts of today, and one of the favorite parts that I've been seeing floating around social media, is when our the first American Youth Poet Laureate was a Black girl, a Black young lady, you know. So that to me is perfect, like that we're filming this on this same day and you're talking about like amplifying the voices of the youth. Because when I looked at that little girl this afternoon, or when I looked at that young lady, I don't want to call her a little girl, but you know, when I looked at that young lady this afternoon, it reminded me of my nieces, and it reminded me of a Danaea or a Madison, and people who I see leading the movement down at the square for Black lives and all of that. Like, it's just so important for you guys to have a seat at the table. And they absolutely killed that project. Like they did the project. I believe they did the flyers, they did the interviews. Like the only support was like, I think I hopped on one time to just share the video to Facebook, but every aspect of that campaign they took care of, and they killed it. And so I always say, like, these next generations coming up behind us are not playing. Like, they are entrepreneurs. They have it's different mindset. They are so advanced. I don't know if it's because of technology or what, but I just love it. There's so many youth that I look up to, you know, because I'm like, look at what they're doing at this age. Like, looking at Danae and how she's just killing everything. Like, it gives me hope and inspiration and motivation. So I'm just loving this whole energy of the whole day. I'm loving the energy of this Zoom or this bread and butter session. Like, this is so lit. So thank you ladies so much for coming on. So I want to give you guys an opportunity to let us know how we can follow you. So Ladea, let us know how we can follow SummerWorks, or if you want to put out your personal page, whatever you want to share, just let us know how we can keep in touch.
Well, first of all, I'm just so proud of Danae. Like, I just get goosebumps when she was talking. So having a seat at the table, that's what I'm here for these youth. I want them to allow their voices to be heard. So thank you for saying that. Yes, you can follow SummerWorks on Instagram at SummerWorks. That's our name. Or you can follow us. Right now, our other social media platforms are not as updated, but our Instagram page is. You're more than welcome to follow me, Ladea Kami. That's Kami, Ladea Kami. You can follow me on Instagram, or you can follow Ladea Owens on Facebook. You're more than welcome to add me. I promise I'll add you back. And I do post a lot about SummerWorks on my social media platforms because I want the youth to know that we are here. All right.
All right. Thank you. And Danae, how can we reach you?
Well, I don't utilize my personal accounts for other things, but I'll definitely be on Muhammad Ali Scholars Program account. I'll be on the RPOP account. So please just look for those accounts and follow them on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'll definitely be working with them in the future.
Okay, cool. And I get that, honey. Listen, I'll be having to separate myself a whole lot. Thank God that RPOP is a little lenient and a little more grassroots than some of these other places. But thank you, ladies, again. And so now I just want to take the opportunity to share some things that RPOP has going on. And so if you're not following us, of course you're following us on Facebook if you're watching this video. But if you're not following us on Instagram, please hop over and follow us at Russell Place of Promise, right? Yes, I think so. And then, like, our Twitter is Russell Promise. It's Russell Place of Promise on Instagram. So go on over there and follow us on there. And then make sure you guys are on the lookout for What's Poppin', which is our newsletter that's been running for the past few months. Our good sis, Daphne, creates our newsletter, and it comes out once a month. So make sure you guys be on the lookout for that. We always let you guys know like what kind of programs we have going on or what kind of partnerships we have going on, and just highlighting some of the things that we're doing in the community and highlighting some of our community partners. We also want to let you guys know that our Russell for Russell Resident Coalition is still going, and it will be up here in a few weeks. And so we'll have like a graduation for all of our participants, and this is the beginning of RPOP rolling off into its own entity. So I'm really excited about that. And then we've got some other stuff coming up. Next month we have a Black Love Week coming up. It's during Valentine's weekend. If you guys didn't know, we are celebrating Akoma Day. Akoma Day is an Afrocentric alternative to Valentine's Day that is similar to Kwanzaa, but it's like an 8-day celebration that just focuses on building Black love within the Black community, whether that's through an intimate partnership or a relationship with your family, a friendship, some colleague, somebody that you work with. Basically just building love within the Black community in all aspects, but the main point is just building Black love, period. And so I think that's pretty much all that we have going on. If you follow us on our social media pages, you can stay up to date with any other programs that we have going on. Michaela, what does Play Cousins have coming up soon that everyone can stay in tune with?
Yeah. So at Play Cousins, every Saturday we host a Play and Learn Lab, a Timeout Play and Learn Lab. It's free childcare for the families in West Louisville. So you drop your kids off with us, up to 10 kids at a time during COVID, and we will entertain them. We will have a lesson for them. So this Saturday's lesson is effective communication, and every Saturday we're going to be going through different lessons and just watching your kids for 4 hours at a time. So if you have children of any age, make sure to register for that. We have a flyer on our page, Play Cousins Collective on Facebook. And it's a lot of fun.
All righty, thank you. Ladea, does SummerWorks have anything that you want to highlight coming up?
Currently, we don't have any events. We are participating in the Junior Achievement Aspires Virtual Career Day, which is happening virtually. It's for 8th and 9th graders. They will have access to that depending on the school that you go to. But we are participating in that. As mentioned, we're all about just teaching the youth at a younger age how to build wealth. So we have different just information on there for them. We're going to teach them interview skills as well as how to dress for an interview and workplace conflict that will have information about microaggressions in there. So we're all about just teaching and the youth. But other than that, we do not have any other events. We're just anticipating the February 1st registration to go live.
Okay, awesome. And then Donnell, would you tell the people just a little bit of what you can about what you've got going on with RPOP right now?
So after my SummerWorks position, my Connect with RPOP, it gave me the opportunity to come back on board and work as a research assistant. So right now I'm working on a little project. We will definitely be previewing within the next few months. So keep an eye out for that soon.
All right. I can't wait for you guys to see it. They've been working really hard on it. So thank you all again so much for joining us. Donnell, thank you for we finally got to have you on. So I'm just so excited. So thank you so much for being willing to come on.
Awesome.
Ladea, thank you so much. I know we've been in contact for a few months now as well. So thank you for being flexible and lenient and open and showing grace. And Michaela, thank you so much for being who you are. Thank you for walking in your greatness in this new role and just killing it and crushing it. And thank you to our viewers. We're coming up on almost a year. So our 1 year anniversary, I think, is May 30th. I could have the day wrong, but it's in May sometime. So we're going to think of something nice to do for our viewers because we appreciate you guys rocking with us throughout this whole year and through a pandemic. So we hope that you enjoyed today's session. Join us again here next month for another session of Bread and Butter where we will talk about generational wealth building. And so our restaurant today, if you guys have not checked out the Hip Hop Sweet Shop, please head over there on 18th Street. It's like right when you pass Muhammad Ali if you're heading towards the river. So I don't know the exact address, but we'll post that for you. And we've also been posting her flyers, but please head on over to the Hip Hop Sweet Shop. I think it is the only Black owned bakery in the West End. I know for a fact that it's the only one in Russell, but I'm not sure about the whole West End, but it's the only brick and mortar Black owned bakery. So let's go over there and support her. She also sits on the board for Russell, a Place of Promise. So we have a special place in our heart for the Hip Hop Sweet Shop. So thank you all so much, and we will see you next month.